Hey guys, so as you guessed from the intro video of this video, I chose the Mazda CX-5. Now there are many reasons for me choosing the CX-5 over the Hyundai and the Nissan, and I think one of the main reasons that I can give you guys is that the CX-5 is the closest in terms of interior feel that I could get to my Jag. Now when you've driven a Jag, you are quite spoiled and you want your next car to be pretty much similar inside in terms of quality and feel. And you know, everything, even from the stalks to the steering wheel, everything just feels, I feel at home, and everything feels very, very similar to the Jaguar XF. So, you know, this car actually has many, many functions. In fact, it has more things than the Jag had in terms of lane departure warning. It has intelligent stop-start. It's got quite a lot of things that the Jag actually didn't have. And for one thing that I missed on my Jag was the USB input for sound. So it actually has several USB inputs. And in addition to that, this particular model is pretty much the top of the range model. I think in America they call this model the Grand Touring. And here in South Africa they call it the Individual. And the Akira is actually the way, way top of the range model, but that I think is a diesel or something like that. It comes with a sunroof. I don't really care about the sunroof, so I went for the top of the range model without the sunroof. The quality of this car is amazing. When you compare it directly to the Hyundai Tucson, you know, this one has leather dash, it has leather stitching on the door pads, it has leather seats, leather interior, leather steering wheel. The Hyundai Tucson, the model that competes with this one actually, didn't even have a leather steering wheel. It had cloth seats, It didn't have leather in the center console. It didn't have any of those things. So I was very drawn to the Mazda, and one of the things the Mazda also has, which the other two didn't have, is a heads-up display. And the heads-up display is pretty awesome, really, because, you know, with the lane keep assist, the car doesn't allow you to veer out of your lane. And I was actually fiddling with the info button on the steering wheel yesterday, and the car actually steered me back and reprimanded me by shaking the steering wheel, vibrating the steering wheel after having steered me back into my lane. I was actually leaving my lane and I was actually going to go off the road. And that's something I never really did in the Jag, but almost did it with this car. And I think I still got to get used to this car because it's pretty high up. It's way different than driving a Jag. It's a high seating position, but when you're climbing, you don't feel like you're climbing up into it, you just feel like you're climbing into it. This car also has features like high beam assist, intelligent lighting assist. You know, it's got this fake wood veneer, which is actually made from stainless steel, and they call it stainless steel, they don't call it wood, so they don't pretend that it's something it's not. It just has a wood grain effect on it, but it's actually stainless steel, and Mazda actually call it stainless steel. So I've actually ordered some accessories already for this thing, and I'll be showing you guys some videos on what accessories I bought for it and how to install them. So the only thing I'm not a fan of in this car are the piano black trim inserts on the door, on the window controls, electric window controls, and also around the gear shift. It picks up every little smudge, every little scratch. It just picks up everything, and it's quite something to have to deal with. So you actually have to keep a cloth, you know, microfiber cloth in the car at all times in order to keep these things clean. And I am a little bit of a neat freak when it comes to that sort of thing. But even having said so, I will be taking this car off the beaten track. That's why I bought it, and that's what I'm going to be doing with it. So we plan on going to game parks, and there are dirt roads. I'm not going to be taking it on, you know, rocky terrain and climbing mountains, that kind of thing. It's not a four-wheel drive, it's not an all-wheel drive. This is just a two-wheel drive. And I didn't want the all-wheel drive because of, you know, things that can go wrong with the four-wheel drive system. But, you know, it is nice to have. But I don't think we're going to need it, not where we are going. We're just going on dirt roads, which are sort of B and C grade roads. So I don't think that needs to be too much of a problem. So in terms of space, you know, this car has amazing capabilities of letting the rear seats down. It's got the electric trunk, and that's actually a very nice feature to have. And as you guys saw, I did a video on the Jaguar's trunk, on getting it open, or getting it to open, you know, automatically when you pop the button. So with this one, it's electronic, and I don't have to worry about that. You just press a button on the key fob inside the car or on the trunk itself. It'll, you know, close itself as well. In the center console, we have this, we got two USBs, we got a 12-volt socket, and we have a 12-volt socket in the front as well. So if you want to charge your phone over there, it doesn't have you know, a phone charging docking bay over there. You know, what do they call it? Wireless charging. It doesn't have that function, but it does have a 12-volt socket there, so you can actually charge your phone conveniently without having any cables stretching over the center console, which is very nice. We've got two cup holders here. We've got all our infotainment buttons are down here. Now, if you're thinking this looks very familiar, I think Audi and BMW have a similar setup. And I found that very nice, even though Audi's now going the touchscreen route, which I don't really like, because the thing about this car is it does have a touchscreen, but only when it's stationary. The moment it starts moving, the touchscreen function disappears and you have to use the buttons. And I like that because when you're on a bumpy road, it's difficult to try and touch the screen on a specific spot. It's almost like trying to aim for a little ant heap on Mars from Earth when you're driving and you're trying to touch a specific point on the screen, especially the icons are very, very small. Now, I must just please forgive me if you see me sweating. It's pretty hot here today. I've got the car off. otherwise you're not going to be able to see me very clearly. You know, I think on the whole, I've done pretty good buying this car. You know, we have in the center, we've got a cup holder. In the center here, we've got a sunglasses holder, and everything that you touch and open is soft touch, you know, from the grab handles to, you know, the sun visors, to the sunglasses holder, even to the cubbyhole where the manual is situated. So everything is soft touch. You know, I mean, the door trim pads remind me so much of my Jag, and I really feel at home here in this car. It's really truly amazing. Now, what this car doesn't have is, that my Jag had, is heated seats. It doesn't have heated or cooled seats, which is kind of weird considering this is a top-of-the-range model. I don't know what option you got to choose in order to get that, but anyway, maybe that's on the Akira version, I don't know. But yeah, that doesn't really bother me too much. It also doesn't have a heated steering wheel. I'm not really concerned about that. Now, what this car does have is it's got the Bose sound system, which the lesser models don't have. I actually don't know what system they've got, but the Bose sound system in this thing is actually awesome. It's amazing. It sounds really good. It also has a subwoofer in the trunk, like I showed you with my Jag, and it's a really nice system. I like it, and the sound is actually comparable to that of my Jag as well. So I'm 6 foot tall, and from my seating position, if I sit behind myself, I have ample knee room, and it's quite amazing the amount of space in the back of this car. I actually thought it would be about the same as the Jag, since the Jag was quite a long car. The Jag's much longer than this car, but this car is a little wider than the Jag, and sitting in the back is quite a pleasure actually. And I don't think people would be uncomfortable on a long trip in the back of this car. And I think it can also seat 5 on a long trip quite comfortably. Now, I know many of my subscribers have Jaguars, and if you're thinking of replacing your Jag with an SUV, I really think that you should look at the Mazda CX-5, because it's really that good. Now, I got a lot of questions from people asking me, why did I look at Mazda, Nissan and Hyundai? Why didn't I look at a Jag equivalent? Well, I did. I had that E-Pace a few months ago. I think at the beginning of this year I did a review on the Jaguar E-Pace, and Jaguar gave it to me because they knew that I was looking at buying an SUV. I was going to be replacing my Jag with an SUV later this year. They gave it to me to use for a couple of days. And I found the car pretty easy to live with. The problem is, what I couldn't find easy to digest was the price, because the price of that car was, the price of the E-Pace is double the price of the Mazda CX-5 here in our country. Okay, I don't know about in Europe or America, but over here it is double the price. Now, I'm not going to pay double the price for a car which actually has less functions than this car. It also has less luxury for a Jag, and one would expect at that price range that you get leather as standard, that you get a leather dash as standard, that you know, I always thought when I bought my Jag that most of the functions it had were standard, but I had a premium luxury, and that would explain many of the features that my Jag actually had. But even that was missing some stuff that the XFR maybe had and that it didn't have. You know, if one looks at the E-Pace and you look at what you're getting, you don't have a leather dash, you don't get lane departure warning, you don't get the heads-up display, you don't get many features. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and please stay tuned because there'll be many more videos to come on the Mazda. And like I said, I've got some accessories and things that I'll be fitting to the car, and I'll be showing you guys how to do that. And I'll be sharing a lot of things that you can get on AliExpress. And then there'll also be some bet you didn't know this about the Mazda CX-5. So stay tuned for those videos, and if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe and share. Thanks, cheers, bye.
you.